Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. Choose one that is applicable to you, and please take my heartfelt greeting to all of you with all the sincerity that it is intended with. I'm Mike DiLisio, and welcome to another edition of the DiLisio Factor. It's been too long, folks. It's been too long. Before I go too much further, I'm going to get my old man specs on here, and I'm going to take a look at chat and make sure that my sound and video is coming through with crystal clarity. And I've already taken a bit of a look at the live chat. We have superstars in our live chats at all time. And I already saw that the designer is in here. So no pressure there. No pressure there. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I see video is great, sound is echoes. Okay, so that's an easy fix. I'm going to assume that here in just a matter of moments, you're going to not hear an echo. You're going to hear crystal clear sonic clarity. Mic is weird. So this is always a thing. There's two microphones in this room. And I have a 50-50 chance, but my 50-50 chance is like putting in a USB port, right? You have a 50-50 chance of putting it in right, but you always put it in wrong. That's me. So I'm going to assume the sound will clear up here just in a moment, and you'll all get that. Sounds good now. Loopy, you are a superstar. All right. So we are going to be playing today Siege of Valeria, and this is part of a line of games, a Valeria line of games that began with Valeria Card Kingdoms, and there have been many, many games in this line, and by different designers and different styles of games. But this is a solo-only game, and it is what I would call a tower defense style game. And so I've played it at home, and I did relatively well. As a matter of fact, I did well enough that I am almost certain to do horribly today, now that this is being recorded in live, and I have all of the world watching me. Because make no mistake, millions of people are tuned into this right now. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Looks like echo is gone, but volume too low. I may ask you to kick up your volume a little bit there, because I can go a little higher on my end. I'll go a little higher on my end, and let's see if that works. But there we go. All right. Well, Siege of Valeria. Let me switch over to the table here. Now that it looks like our sound is good and the video is good, I'm going to actually move this light to see if we can get a little bit of glare off of there. There we go. That light is good for the front-facing camera, not so good for the top-down camera. All right. Well, in Siege of Valeria, I am trying to protect myself behind these walls here. I've got my turrets here, and I've got columns of cards. All right. This, being a solo game, is one where there are multiple avenues to defeat and one avenue to victory, at least in the kind of standard version of the game that we are going to be playing here. All right. I have 7 rounds, I should say, to defeat all of the siege engines in the game. There are 13 siege engines. There are 5 in the starting array, all in that 5th row here, and 13 total. So 7 rounds to defeat 13 siege engines. It's no easy task. All right. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be rolling these dice. These dice are in my starting supply. You can see that there are 5 other dice that I could theoretically get into my supply by the end of the game, and I really am going to be trying to get those as soon as I possibly can. All right, a couple of quick little vocabulary things that I'm going to point out before we get started, and then I'm just going to get started because it's a game I think you will pick up very quickly what you need to do. So these, as I mentioned, are my turrets. They have a spot for 4 damage. All right, you can see those little outlines, I believe, of the damage tokens there. The one of the loss conditions is if I ever get 4 damage tokens on any one of these turrets, that's a loss. So I don't want that to happen. If I ever get 3 on them, if I ever have 3 of these tokens, it kind of covers up this little outline here, which means that if I had a champion card here, I would have to discard it. I cannot have or play a champion card in a spot that has 3. So I really don't want 3, and I definitely don't want 4 damages on any of these turrets. Another way that I could lose is if one of these siege engines makes its way down to this bottom row, which is known as the vanguard row. If I am not able to defeat that siege engine by the end of the round, I have lost the game. So don't want to have a siege engine here in the vanguard undefeated, or I will lose the game. Also, if that deck runs out, that troop deck runs out, which basically goes through 7 rounds, and I have not defeated all of the siege engines, I have also lost the game. So as I said, multiple ways to lose the game, one way to win, 13 siege engines. That's what I have to do. A couple other things I'm going to point out really quickly is that if you look at these siege engine cards, you'll see that there are 5 values along the left side, and either a black or a red color. What this is referring to are active siege engines or in-range siege engines. So right now, since these are all start at the 5th row, the only siege engine that is in range that is going to both trigger and be attackable by me is this Incendiaries siege engine, because the number in that 5th row is lit up red. It means that that one is in range of me. It's going to do something and I could attack that. The only other way that I can attack a siege engine is if it's what's called a front card, which means that there are no other cards in front of it. It may or may not be in the vanguard row, but if a card is, if there's no other card in front of it, it's considered a front card, and if it's a siege engine, it can be attacked for 14 strength. All right, so I've got a nice little player aid card here that goes through the phases of a turn. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. Here we go. So you've got strength dice and you've got magic dice. All right. Many of these troop cards out here have both values. And in this case, like for this, let's just do this one in the vanguard here, this red witch. I need 4 strength and 3 magic. To be able to defeat it, that 3 magic has to come from a magic die. But for the strength values on any of these troop cards, you can augment your red dice with the magic dice, but you can never completely spend a strength value with magic dice. So for this Dragonkin Warlord, takes 8 strength. I could not spend those 2 dice, those 2 magic dice, to defeat it. What I could do, however, is if I had like a 5 red and a 4, I could defeat it with that because I'm augmenting that, and that overage would be wasted in most cases. All right, here we go. First thing I do is roll my dice. Let's roll my dice. Bam. Oh, I like that. I got a couple of 6s. I got a 5. I got a 3. I got a 1. Terrible, but that's all right. Okay, so this is my starting pool of dice. I also have 2 troop cards that are in my hand because one of the cool elements of the game is that when you defeat these enemies, they become troops for you, and you now have access to the powers that are on them. And you're going to need those. You're definitely going to need those to be able to defeat these enemies. All right, so that was the first thing, is roll the dice. Then resolve the siege engines. As I've already mentioned, only the cards in range are going to do anything. And so this is the one that's going to trigger. Reroll 1 5. If I had no 5s that had been rolled, then it wouldn't do anything. But unfortunately, I did. I rolled this red 5, so I need to re-roll that. And it's a 3, which is not as good. All right. So here's what I'm thinking right now. I know for sure that I want to defeat this red witch, okay? And one of the reasons why, let me move this. I'm sorry, I have a little something on my screen I want to get rid of. Okay, one of the reasons why I want to defeat this red witch first is that it's going to gain me an extra magic die that I could use right away, and it's going to gain me a champion, all right? Oh, whoa, before Before I got ahead of myself. See, this is why you use your cards, DiLisio. Use your cards. All right. Before I start performing my actions, actually, I didn't do it. I'm okay because I activated Siege Engines. I need to resolve an event. Now, they tell you in the rule book that easy mode, the first few games, you can play it without the events. Nah. No. I have every game of this I've played, I've used the events. Now, I've also never won. But I'm going to use the events because, whatever. I got to final push. Okay. Add 2 strength to the closest siege engine. All right. Now, all of them are of the same distance away. So let me see if it gives me a event card. This is called Final Push. If more than one, the choice is yours. All right, so basically what I'm doing is I'm making one of these siege engines more challenging to defeat than others. I think what I'm going to do, that breach tower is terrible. So I don't want to make that one tougher. I think I'm going to go ahead and put 2 on this catapult, which means it's going to be 2 harder to defeat. All right, so that's not great, but it is what it is. So I've done the event. Now I'm performing my actions. All right, so as I said, I know I want to defeat that red witch. So this takes 4 strength, 3 magic. I'm going to go ahead and spend that 3 magic. Gosh, I hate spending both of these. I can flip one to its opposite side. Yeah, why not? I'll do that. I'll spend this, although I'd love... You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend this null pack to flip this 1 to a 6. Maybe I don't go for that right away, but I kind of want it. I really, really want it. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm going to waste. I hate wasting that, especially since I just spent that. That's okay. All right, so I gain this red witch. I'm going to spend it right away. Gain and roll 1 blue die and gain a champion. All right, so I gain a blue die. I rolled it for a 5, which is good. I take a champion here. And now I can put this in any one of these spots. This Lady Guerrera, which is a card that you can flip to add +2 strength against a magic troop. All right, so I can put this in any one of these. I'll go ahead and put it right here for now. Actually, yeah, I'll put it here because I know that this isn't going to get a damage. And you'll see what I mean here in a moment. So I'll put it there. All right. Any of these troops that are in the vanguard at the end of the row, if I have not defeated them, they're going to put a damage. So I have to kind of think about siege engines are my ultimate goal, but I can't just ignore the vanguard line because they are going to do damage. All right. So I think I may go ahead and try to knock out that siege engine because that's the main goal of the game. So I can only defeat cards that are front cards. So I can defeat this, or this now, and that siege engine. All right, that takes 14. So 6. Yeah, if I spend 9 and 5, that's 14. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend that 14 to defeat this incendiary siege engine. That's going to also give me a champion. This one is a flip, gives me +2 against a siege engine. Ooh, I like that. So I need to decide which of these I'm going to defeat and then put this card there because I know that this will not go away. That one's 3. I could defeat that one. That's a tough card. 3, 7, I have 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually, all right, I'll put this here. These are both the same. I'm going to spend this 4 to defeat the Gargoyle Talon. And now at this point, if I wanted to, I could attack any non-front card. That's good. That's good. Do I want to do that? No, I don't think that I want to do that right now. All right. This 6 is a little bit wasted right now, but that's the way it's going to be. That's how it's going to be, I think. I'm just going to have to... All right. I'll spend this 6. I'll knock out this Goblin Warrior. There we go. Okay. So, I have performed my actions. And now I activate the Vanguard, which is the next kind of in the line here. All right. If a siege engine is in the Vanguard, I would lose the game right now. Luckily, it's not. If there were any tokens that had been placed on these troops, they'd be moved up to the next row. There are not. Any troops that are remaining in the Vanguard are going to add 1 damage to the associated turret. So I'm OCD about this. I have to put these on the way that they look. Must do that. And then these cards get discarded. All right? Boom. All right. If a turret ever has 4, I lose the game. Thankfully, I don't. Yes. Okay. Then advance the battlefield. Everything moves down. All right. And then if this deck had run out at this point, then I would have lost, but I don't. All right. So we shift down to fill in empty spaces. Here we go. Boom. All of these are going to shift down. All right. Bada boom. Bada boom. Bada boom. All of these are shifting on down. A relentless onslaught. No rest for the wicked. Pick your overused phrase. All right. All right, so we have advanced the battlefield. Now, we are going to reinforce the battlefield. We're going to add a siege engine in row 5 of each column that does not already have one. Now, I only defeated one here in this column, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it up in row 5 here. All right. And then I'm going to take the top 4 troop cards and I'm going to refill. All right, so 1, let's face up, left to right, 2, 3, 4. All right. Boom. That's it. We've done that. And then we slide, and if there are anything that need to slide down, they would now. All right, so that was day 1, round 1 of 7. And I'm going to go a little bit, faster now because I think you guys kind of see the flow of the game here. All right, so here we go. If any of these had been flipped down, because I'd used them, I'd flip them up now, but I did not use any of them. So here we go. Oh, we've got some overkill here. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm rolling dice. I don't love the numbers I rolled here. See, as soon as I get on camera, my die rolling becomes just frightfully bad. All right, so rolling the dice. Resolve the siege engines. We go from left to right. All right, this is not active. This is not active. This is not active. This one is. I hate everything about this one. Spend 1 red die and 1 blue die. That's terrible. Let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that. I hate that. This one also. Discard 1 champion and then flip the other. No! All right. Oh, that's terrible. I'm going to flip that. Discard that. Oh my gosh, I just got wrecked right there. Okay. All right. Now we resolve our... Hello, Hilmar. Add 1 damage to a turret with less than 3. All right, so I need to add a damage to one of these turrets. Which one? I'm probably likely to knock that one out because it's not too tough, so I'll put it right here. All right. Oh my gosh, now look at this. I've only got 6 dice to spend. That's terrible. All right. All right, here we go. Here we go. The only ones that are in range, this one is 13, this one is 14. Yeah, that is a bad day in Valeria. You're right. You're right, Glenn. I'm not feeling good about this. That's all right. Look, not feeling good. But that's all right. Here we go. So which of these do I want to be thinking about? I like the idea of this because this has, oh, that's only for an adjacent siege engine. Okay, so I can save it for later. All right. All right. I don't know that I feel like I need to take care of these because these don't have any damage on them. So, all right, so let's do this. +1 to a die doesn't really, yeah, I can do that. All right, so we're going to use this Goblin Warrior to add +1 to a die, so I'm going to make this a 6. I'm going to spend this 6 and this 1 to make this 7 to knock out this Troll Brute. All right, now I've got a way to start getting some bigger numbers here. I can spend this 3 to knock out the Goblin Warrior. I'll try to keep these on camera as much as I can. Boy, I really, yeah, Three. Oy! Do I go for a siege engine? I hate this one. I really, because this is just going to keep triggering, but that one is terrible too. That's just going to get rid of all my champions. But this one in the next round is not going to trigger. I'm going to take this one out. How am I going to do that, you ask? Well, I'm going to change this to a 6. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 would let me knock out that because it is in range. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to knock this out. Gargan's Eye. It is going to give me a champion. This champion is a flip. Add +1, plus or -1 to a blue die. We'll go ahead and put this right here. All right. I think that's going to do it for me here. Yeah. All right, here we go. So we've performed our actions. Now it's time to activate the Vanguard. No siege engine in the Vanguard, thankfully. We're going to add some damage here and here and here, unfortunately. Now, there are ways to remove these damage, okay? There's a couple of ways to do it. One is if you've got a champion that you want to discard, you can remove one from the column that is, in their spot. So if I remove this champion, I'd be able to get one from this turret. The other thing you can do is you can spend a die, either type of die, any value, it doesn't matter. You basically spend a die to remove one of these damages. So I need to keep that in mind. I may end up having to do something like that. I don't like doing that. I don't think it's very efficient, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. All right, so now we discard these. Okay, now we advance the battlefield. All cards slide down. Boom. I will tell you right now, I don't feel like I'm doing anywhere nearly as well as I did in my first game. But that's how these things tend to work. You know, just you got to deal with what you deal with. That was very deep. That meant nothing. All right, here we go. Moving them down, moving them down, moving them down. All right. Now, we have advanced the battlefield. We are reinforcing the battlefield. So this is the only column without a siege engine. So we're going to be putting this in the 5th row. All right, that's the battering ram. Don't love that. Now we're taking 4 cards from the troop deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be adding these bottom to top, left to right. So that goes there. That goes there. That goes there. And that goes there. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. We would slide upper cards down if there were any. All right. Okay. Whew. That's 2 days down. 2 days. I've defeated 2 siege engines of the 13 that I need to do. I'm not in a great... I'm a little behind the 8 ball, folks. All right. Flip all the champions face up. Hopefully I can keep them this round. All right, then roll the dice. Here we go. Bam. That's a little better. Okay, that's a little better. I'm just trying to encourage myself, folks. I need all the help I can get. All right, let's resolve them siege engines, shall we? This one, thankfully, is out of range. When I really, I'd like to defeat this soon, because what this does when it says load in an adjacent troop card is basically you take one of the cards that are adjacent to it and you add their strength to it. It's terrible. Not good. Not good. What I may end up trying to do is using this Gargoyle Talon to defeat. I need to check if I can do that, actually. I know that Glenn is in the chat, so he can tell me if I don't see it in here. But I wonder if I could use my Gargoyle Talon to, let's see if it tells me specifically. Yeah, or out of range siege engine. It would just take 14 to defeat. So I might end up using my Gargoyle to defeat that one because I hate it so much. All right, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's resolve the siege engines. This one does not trigger. This one does. Re-roll 1, 6. Unfortunately, I do have a 6 that I've rolled, so I need to re-roll it. It's now a 2, which is garbage. This one does not trigger. This one does not trigger. And thankfully, this one does not trigger either. All right. Okay. Now, let's resolve an event. What are the chances this is an instant win? Glenn, did you put an instant win card in here? It's an instant... No, it's not. You know what? I haven't read the flavor text on one of these yet, so I'm going to do that. Dangerous Vision. So all of these cards have flavor text on them. The other one was the turret shutters. The first one was the final push. Let me read a little bit of that just so you can get a feel for. The witches of the Urder Swamp don't align themselves with the monsterkin. For the right price, a newborn or the fingers of an artisan. Ah! They will show you visions of your future. The witches do not divulge that they are only possible futures, nor do they mention that some fates are bound to the thread of time. Look at the top 6 troop cards and return them in any order. Hey, all right, that's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's what I'm thinking. If there are cards in here that give me extra dice, I'm going to be putting those on top. All right. Flip 1 to its opposite side, double the value of 1, change 1 to a 6, reroll any number of unused dice. I like that. So there's 2 reroll. I like those cards. I'm going to put those at the top. I'm going to put the change 1 to a 6, double the value of 1 is actually that's really good too. I'm going to put the swap at the bottom. Okay, so I put these kind of in the order that I like them. All right. Now let's perform some actions. Okay. All right. I think the first thing I want to do is knock that breach tower out. It's going to take 14, which is no joke. Okay. So I'm spending this Gargoyle Talon because I want to attack that card for 14. Let's change this 2 to a 6. All right. 6 and 5 is 11. I need 3 more. 14. Let's get that breach tower out of there. I hate everything about it. Oh, I could have flipped that to get +2, but that's... Do I want to do that? I probably should have, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off on that. Okay, but I do get another champion for that. This is +1 against a magic. Let's put this over here. All right, I can't just leave these here because I'm going to get wrecked. Unfortunately, the most expensive one, this 8 value, is right here. I can add +1. Okay, let's do that. We'll add +1 to a die. We'll make this a 6. We'll add the 2 to get rid of the Dragonkin Warlord. That comes to me. That lets me double the value of 1 die, which is great. That could make this a 10. Which other siege engine is in range? This one. This right now would be 16. But I could do it if I doubled the value of this. But I'd be wasting so much. There'd be so much left over that's not used. Okay, this will be +1 against a magic, +1 again to one of these. I could add, Yeah, so let's do this. Does that really help do anything for me? Not really. But I like using these. Maybe I try to go for another siege engine. Glenn, do I go for another siege engine? This is 16. You know what? This is probably a very bad idea. I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend the Dragonkin Warlord. I'm going to double the value of this. This is 10 now. 10 and 5 is 15 and 4 is more than I need for this. Now these, oh, the only thing that sucks about that is that these would immediately bump up the value of my dice, but I have no more in the pool, so I'm not going to get the benefit of that. But I'm doing it anyway. I'm spending all of these. These, unfortunately, instead of bumping up the value of dice that I don't have, just go away. But this goes away, and I get another champion. All right. Got lots of champions out here. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to get wrecked on the Vanguard here, but we'll see. We'll see if that was a bad choice or not. I'm playing this one differently than the first time I played it because I want to do that. I kind of want to see if how different strategies play out. I think I waited too long to go after siege engines in the last game. I lost, but with only one siege engine left. So we'll see. All right. So I've performed my actions. Now we're going to activate the Vanguard. So this is not pretty because I'm going to get hit on 4 of these. I get hit here, which means that in the next round I really can't be taking a bunch of hits on the Vanguard. Here, 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 and here. All right. These go away. Okay. Advance the battlefield. No, none of these have 4. I did not lose. All right. Here we go. These move down. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, bum, 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 bum. I encourage you to add music like that to your gameplay. All right, here we go. Moving them on. Move on down the road. Okay, we advanced the battlefield. Now we are going to reinforce the battlefield. I have 1, 2 columns without siege engines. I hate this. Okay. So we're going to add 2. We're going to add 1 here in the 5th row. We're going to add 1 here in the 5th row, correct? Yes. None here. There's 1 here, here, and here. All right. Then we're going to reinforce with 4 troops from left to right. 1, 2, 3. And these are troops I know because I put them, I kind of seeded the deck there. 4. These are here in the 5th row. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to add music like that to my gameplay, but only if it's a recording of Mike singing it. Well, look, we can talk. We could try to make something happen. You know, I can put my vocal stylings out there on the internets. No one wants that. All right. Back to the beginning of the turn. Yes, of a day. All right. Let's roll these dice. I feel like I've not been using my champions very well. I really have not been using my champions very well. All right. Here we go. I didn't roll terrifically high. I have no troop cards to help me right now, which is rough. Rough, rough, rough. But I plan on getting a bunch of troop cards. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to take out any siege engines this round. We'll see. We will see. All right. These have already been flipped up. Boom, boom, boom. No, we resolved the siege engines. This one does not trigger, thankfully. This one does not trigger, thankfully. This one does, and I hate everything about it. Forfeit 1 die and 1 champion. All right. I'm going to forfeit this champion. And, oh, man. Okay, here I can gain, I'll be able to gain a red die. That's really good. So do I just forfeit this one to gain it right back? Or do I forfeit one of these and have more red dice? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to forfeit this and go heavier into red dice. Okay, so that was this one. This one does not trigger. This one does too. Discard one, flip one. All right, am I going against this? Am I going to try to take out a siege? I might take out a siege engine. I'm going to forfeit this one, or discard this one and flip this one. We'll see. If I go against the siege engine, I might use Sir Quentin. If not, I would not. All right. Okay, now we are going to resolve an event. Lucky shot. Oh, no! An archer on the wall knocks an arrow. She tracks a pale green goblin clambering onto a siege engine. She lets loose. The arrow cuts through the air and then pierces the goblin. His body slumps over, but his tiny hand reaches up to pull a lever, and the cogs on the siege engine begin to be turned to initiate its attack. I have to activate a siege engine that's out of range. That sucks! I don't want to be that one. I'm not going to want to do either. These are both lower each by 1. So I need to lower each of these by 1 or get rid of 2 of these. So I'm going to lower each of these by 1. This is going to go to, oh, it's terrible. This is going to go to 3. It's going to go to 3. These are all going to 2s. Oh, man, that is rough. All right, again, you don't have to play with these event cards, but I figured I'd show you everything that there is in the game. In all of its, it's not, solo games should be tough, I feel like. Winnable, which, I mean, I do think the game is certainly winnable, but tough. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get this Orc Archer in the mix right away. I'm going to spend a 2 strength die and a 4 magic die to get this Orc Archer, and I'm going to immediately spend it to gain and roll one of these. And I'm going to have it for the rest of the game unless I have to get rid of it at some point. There's a 4. All right, that's good. Now, I think, I really don't want these siege engines to get too much, because this one is terrible. I get rid of a die each time. If I do this, I can add 2 to it, but maybe what I do is first get this out of the way to double the value of one of these. Maybe to double the value of that would be 8. Okay. Oof, this is rough. Okay. This is tough. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is first go after this one. 5 and 3 is 8 to get this Dragonkin Warlord. I might use it right away. This would make this an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, man, I'd have to spend all of these to get that. So if I do this, if I flip this to the opposite side, that would be a 5, and 4 is 9, 10, 11. I wouldn't have enough to knock this out. It'll only be 10 if it goes down here, but I have to keep getting rid of a die because it's going to trigger again. I think I might have to wait on that ballista. I'd love to knock it out right now, but I'm afraid of, this Vanguard row just getting wrecked. All right, so I think instead I will spend this to take the Gargoyle Talon. I can't do both of these as is, although, yeah, if I do this first, yeah, then I can do it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend this 5 to take this Knoll Pack. I'm going to immediately spend it to flip this to its opposite side, which is a 5, which I'll now use to take out this Goblin Warrior. And now I don't have any cards in my Vanguard. I did not take any, take out any siege engines, but I felt like I kind of had to at this point not let this fill up and hope that I can knock out 2, maybe 3 siege engines in the next round. That's my hope. What are the likelihoods? Not high, but we'll see. Can't afford to lose a die, Mike. Need them to heal. I agree, Todd. I agree. I never claimed to be good at either this game or any other game in existence, but I'm going to just give it the best that I can. All right, here we go. So I have performed my actions. Now activate the Vanguard. Thankfully, no siege engines here, so I don't lose the game. No other troops here. I don't have to add any damage to the turrets. I advance the battlefield. Here we go. Down they go. I always tend to go column by column. How do you guys do it guys and gals do it in games like this where you have to kind of move things down? Do you go row by row, column by column? I find myself going column by column. All right, here we go. I think I'm going to have a bunch of siege engines just wreck me this round. We'll find out. All right, so we've advanced the battlefield. I don't add any siege engines because I didn't take out any siege engines. If this siege engine is here at the end of the next round, I have lost. All right, I have to add 4 of these cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. All right, here we go. We have reversed. Now we are in, what are we in? We're in round 5 of 7. 5 of 7. Here we go. I flip this face up. And I roll these dice. Come on, nothing but 6s. No, I rolled the strength dice are terrible. My magic dice are good. That's an oof. That's an oof. Although I do have some stuff here that might help there. Okay, roll the dice. Now, resolve the siege engines. This, unfortunately, is going to hit. That's awful, because that's in row 4. Spend 1 red and 1 magic, so I'm going to spend that. And, oh, man, one of those 6 magics are gone. This does not trigger. This one, forfeit 1 die and 1 champion. That's terrible. I will forfeit that champion because I'm going to use Sir Quentin against that for sure. Now here, this does not trigger, right? Nope. And this light, thankfully, does not trigger too. Oh, that's good, because actually I would have had to have gotten rid of that. I didn't even account for that. Oof. All right. Now, here we go. Oh, no, I still have to do an event. Deserter. Oh, no. A few hours before sunrise, you hear the snap of twigs in the tree line. You see familiar eyes looking back at you. With his family only a day's hike from the fortress, you don't fault the man for deserting his post, but you still aim your crossbow as steady as you can as he turns from you and runs into the woods. You know what? I blame them. Move 1 active strength die to your spent die pool. Look at that. Look at that. 4 dice I could not even use in this round. I have no choice but to take this out or else it's an instant loss condition. All right. So it's 10 in the Vanguard row to take that out. I get +2 right now. So basically I have 8. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend this Dragonkin Warlord to double the value of 1. That's going to now be 8. With that +2, that's 10. I got to get rid of that ballista so I can at least live past this round, theoretically. And I can get this champion, which I'll put right there. All right. Okay, well, I don't love, if I let this stay here, then this champion that is better against siege engines is going to be gone because you can't have 3 damage and have a champion there. I really want this Orc Archer because it gives me one. I'm going to do that first. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend these 6 to get the Orc Archer, which I'm immediately going to spend to gain and roll a red die. And I rolled a 2. Nice job, DiLisio. You suck. All right. But I could defeat that Dragonkin Warlord with that, so maybe it's not that bad of a thing. Although, no. If I could have added 1 more to this, that still wouldn't have been enough. All right. I'd love to show you overkill, but I have not been doing very well. Although, yeah, no, that adds +2. That still would not be enough. All right. Would it? I have to spend 4. That would give me 8. of this, would that be enough? Let's see. Let me see if I can figure this out. If I add +2 against this, that gives me 8 magic and 2 strength. 4 of the magic would be spent there. That would leave me with 4 more magic, which I could use for that. Then I could spend this to defeat that. Glenn, is that right? Did I do this right? If, let's see it, let's run through this process. I flip over Magister Femic. That gives me +2 magic against a magic troop. So that would give me 8 magic and 2 strength. I spend 4 of the magic on that. That leaves me with 4 more, which would be the 8 to get the rest of that. Then I'd have this, spend this +2 to overkill an adjacent. Could I get that as well? I think I can. I'm going to try it and hope that I might give it a second to see if Glenn here is going to confirm. But I think that makes sense to me. Let me just double check and make sure that's how the magic is spent. But I think so. I believe that's correct. Especially holy dice, augment soldier dice. Yep, all right. Glenn, I'm going to do that. So hopefully you all caught what I did there because it'll be like the one clever move I've made this whole game. I flip this over. It gives me +2 magic against a magic troop. Now I have 8 magic and 2 strength. To knock out that, this +2 is to overkill an adjacent. So I could overkill that one or that one. So I spend those. I get both of these. That's a pretty nice little turn. That's a pretty nice little turn. I love it. I love everything about it. I love it. So even though I might lose the game, I'm going to call it a win just for that one turn. All right. Perform your actions. Activate the Vanguard. Now, unfortunately, I'm getting a 3rd damage here. So I cannot, if I take 1 more damage here, I've lost the game. So I have to be very, very cognizant of that. Also, I cannot put a champion there. This gets discarded. Then we advance the battlefield. Chug, chug, chug. There are no siege engines there, so I didn't lose. Not there yet, anyway. Then we come on down, come on down, come on down. Bang, 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 bang. All right. Let's add a siege engine to this column. Right there. And let's reinforce the battlefield. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. And now we're back to the beginning. Let's flip these over. Flippity flip, 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 flippy. And I got some dice now. Let's hope I don't. All right, okay. Okay. Some of these are all right. Some. All right, but as you've seen, I may not have all of these dice at the beginning of the actions phase because you can lose those dice through a number of different effects. All right, now we resolve the siege engines. This is in row 3, so I am going to have to get rid of this and this. That is terrible. The Gargan's Eye is an awful, awful, awful siege engine. This one does not trigger until it gets into the Vanguard. That one does not trigger. This one does not trigger. This one does. I can't leave this one here. I'm going to have to discard this or I lose the game. So I'm going to keep... Oh, no! That's terrible. I got to discard this and flip this, so I'm not going to be able to use Sir Quentin against that siege engine. Terrible, awful, awful, and terrible. All right. We have resolved the siege engines. Now let's resolve an event. This is Trained Warriors. That's fantastic. I have to add a strength token to every strength troop. Oh, that's not too bad. There's only 1. So I have to add 1. Now the Orc Archer is a 7. Now what sucks about this is that I have to defeat this one. These 2 are non-negotiable. I have to defeat those or I've lost the game this round. All right, so at least I know that, oh, actually, I think I spent this Lycan Mage. So that, yeah, because I already spent it. Okay, so these are non-negotiable, have to do those. However, if I get this Lycan Mage, I can use the overkill to knock this one out. And then this would come to me and boost up one of my red dice. I like that idea a whole lot. All right, so yeah, as Glenn, the designer, has mentioned, sometimes low dice rolls are good because you can then flip a 1 to a 6 and then double it into a 12. There are definitely ways that you can do that. There's a number of cards that, obviously let you mitigate things. So I think the first thing I want to do is go after this Lycan Mage and then use the extra to overkill this one and then be able to boost up another die. So let me think about this. So I need this for the magic, all right? And I need 4. So I need 6 actually, because I need that extra 2. So if I spend the 6 and the 5, that should leave me enough for this. Okay, so I spend that. The extra 2 is going to go to defeat that. All right. This is going to get spent to boost up one of these. So this is gone. And this is mine. This might actually turn out okay. Which one of these do I want to boost up? Let's make this 3 a 4 so that I'm not wasting anything. Okay, because these are going to be spent on that. Now, I'm going to spend this to gain and roll this last red die, which is a 4. All right, I might be able to do some damage here. I might be able to do some damage. All right, I know I need to take this out. All right, which is 10. So let's add 1 to this 4 to make this a 5. Spend those 2 5s to take out this Flaming Rain. Blame it on the Flaming Rain. All right, this is going to go right here. This is +1 against a strength troop. All right, now I can attack this siege engine even though it's not in range because it is now a front card. It would cost me 14 strength. However, I think I'm more interested in taking this out because I hate having to get rid of 2 dice every single round. That is miserable. Miserable. So maybe I go for this, which is 13 instead of 14 anyway. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to spend my Dragonkin Warlord to double the value of 1 die. This 6 is going to be a 12. Plus 1 is 13. This goes bye-bye. I get another champion. This champion is going to go right here. Oh, that's nice. Remove all tokens from 1 card. All right, now, I've got 6 die left. I can use this champion to add +1 against a strength troop. Because these are goners. I don't have any magic dice left. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this. This will now give me that 7 that I need to defeat this troll brute. All right. And so that is going to be that. All right. I performed my actions. Now we're going to activate the Vanguard. This, unfortunately, is going to get discarded because it took that 3rd spot right there. So this is a problem. This is a problem. They go away. All right. Then these slide down. Correct. We advance the battlefield. Boom, ba boom, 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 ba boom, 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 ba boom, 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 ba boom, boom, boom. Oh. All right. All right. We've advanced the battlefield. Now we're going to reinforce the battlefield. So we have 2 siege engines that we need to refill. Do we have 2? Yeah, these we have. Well, we still have 3. DiLisio, you got no chance. But that's all right. We go there, and we go here. All right. Then we reinforce. Oh yeah, we got no chance here. But that's okay. We're gonna try to see how bad our loss is. 1, 2, 3, 4. This slides down. All right. Okay, that castle wall's hanging on by a thread. You're not kidding, Glenn. You're not kidding. All right. Now we roll our dice. Flip our champion face up here. Okay. Rolled some stuff. Some better than others, as always. And then we are going to resolve the siege engines. This one is not in range. This is not in range. This is not in range. This is in range. Lower each red die by 1. The 1s can't be lowered, so they're going to stay there. It goes to a 4. That goes to a 4. These all go down to 2s. All right. And then this one is in the 4th row. It is not in range. All right. So that is that. Now we resolve an event. Gargan's Blessing. Oh no! Add 2 magic to the closest siege engine. So the battering ram gets 2 more. Well, thankfully I still have these, because if I didn't, that could have been the end of the game right there. Although I could remove that. I'm going to do that. Yeah, why mess with that? All right, so that was the event, and now we're going to perform the actions. I'm going to go ahead and right now and turn this over to get these tokens off of there. No thank you. No bueno. All right, now, these are the non-negotiables. This, and this. Those have to go or I lose the game. I'm going to lose the game anyway because I'm not going to be able to get through all the siege engines, but you know, I'm going to try to at least make a good show of it. All right. This needs 14. I can change one of these to a 6. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and change this 1 to a 6. All right. So I need 14 on that. Oh, this is 11, 12, 13, 14. Ugh. All right. There's that. This goes away. I get a champion, which I can't actually use. But I could check and see if it's one I want better, maybe. I don't know. Oh, should this? No, I used that. I'm just not going to worry about that right now. All right. Now I need to get rid of both of these for sure. And so let's spend this 2 and this 2. Get rid of that Rune Witch. Let's spend this 2 and this 4 to get rid of this Rune Witch. Yeah, let's do this. Let's flip this over to gain +1 against a red troop. That's going to be this. And then we'll spend this to get rid of one of these. Yeah, we'll get rid of this one. Boop. All right. No victory for Valerians today. That is correct. But you know, hey, we're gonna see how well we do. I'm gonna take this to the bitter end. I've performed the actions. Now I'm gonna activate the Vanguard. This is going to trigger. This goes away. This goes right here. This gets discarded. Then we activate and advance the battlefield. And I end basically I'm going to lose because I'm out. The troop deck is out. But let's just go through the process, okay? Bum, 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 bum. All right. Advance the battlefield. Check the troops deck. If it's exhausted, you've lost the game. I have lost the game because the troop deck is out. However, I can look in the book here and I can see how badly I've lost. All right. Winning and losing. How badly did you lose? If you lost, count the number of undefeated siege engines on the battlefield and in the siege deck. So I will tell you in my first game, I had 1 undefeated siege engine. But here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. From 2 to, oh, I lucked out. I just barely made it into the second there, all right? 2 to 5 undefeated siege engines. The captain of the watch, seeing the defeat in advance, enlisted the aid of the steward of the fortress to sneak you out through a secret tunnel. The swamp where you emerge is not a proud place, but you're alive and can plan for a second engagement. All right, so I will take it. I will take it. It was not a victory, folks. Not a victory, but it was not a crushing defeat, I don't think. But more importantly, hopefully you got an idea for how the game plays. There is also a campaign that you can use, you can add to the game. So what you saw here is kind of the base game, but there's also a campaign that you can get to add a campaign experience to Siege of Valeria. And so if you're a solo player, if you like tower defense, if you like the Micho's art, if you like the world of the Valeria, this is certainly something that you may want to check out. I am determined that I can beat this game. You know, there are some solo games where I'm like, no matter how many times I play it, I don't think I can beat it. I do think I have this one in me. I'm learning new things every time I play that kind of change up how I might want to try it next time. But hopefully you enjoyed this playthrough and got a pretty good idea. And look, we get an hour. And you know, I was talking and you know, singing and all of those types of things. So you know, I think you can easily play these games in an hour. It says 30 to 45. I think you could get it 30 to 45 for sure after you get more familiar. And if you're not, you know, talking through the game, and obviously it goes a little bit slower when I'm, you know, playing to the camera and regaling you with all of my witty banter and repartee. All right, well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the chat. As always, the best chat in the biz here at the Dice Tower. Thank you, Glenn, the designer of the game, for coming in and answering rules questions. That's always very much appreciated. However, that's my time, folks. Today is Wednesday. That means that we still have crowd surfing at 2. So come back at 2 o'clock today and check us out for crowd surfing. We'll be taking a look at many other crowdfunding projects. This game was a crowdfunding project, so come see what we think about some others that are just now getting close to ending, and it's usually a lot of fun. So we'll see you then. Until next time, this is Mike DiLisio signing off from Dice Tower headquarters. Goodbye.